So UFC NOCHE just ended. Terrence Crawford versus Canelo Alvarez is currently ongoing, and we have a lot to talk about as far as fights. And I gotta rant about this whole ordeal of UFC NOCHE getting no promotion at all. I made my video about Dana White's debut in boxing and that press conference yesterday. Um, and I'm gonna have to talk about it. All overall, though, this is a phenomenal card, one of the better cards of the year. Um, but we start off with the opener of Rodrigo Cesaredo versus Denwil Donchenko. Donchenko started off the fight as the aggressor. Heavy shot, a heavy shot from me. He did not throw, a jab to find range. No, he went in there with a killed or be killed attitude. A lot of blood above the eye from an elbow that Cesaredo caught him with. There's a low blow knee which I think Cesaredo had against Donchenko. I could be wrong. But Donchenko comes back swinging hooks, and he annihilated Cesaredo. This was such an electric way to open up the card. Again, I've been cleaning my room all day, and this made me go nuts. Like, he also said, don't pay him, sign his boy. I respect that. And yeah, dude, this is how you make your debut in the UFC. We don't have many big Ukrainian fighters right now. This guy had something in this fight. I'm interested to see what he does moving forward. We then move on to Montserrat Rendon versus Alice Pereira. I'm just thinking 100 with you. I barely paid attention to this fight. Rendon won this fight. She got 139, 130.27, 129.28, and somehow a judge gave Alice Pereira the fight. I did not see that though, but she was able to land, or she wasn't able to land any takedowns. My bad. She was able to shoot for takedowns, control Alice Pereira, but I did like what I saw from Alice Pereira on the feet. Um, and you know, I she's really young, right? I think what like I forgot. It probably has it on here, right? For profile. She's 19 years old, 6'1". I was really impressed with her. Again, the bar is really low in women's MMA. Um, but yeah, fight was boring. Pereira looked pretty good. Not really much else to say. Then we move on to this absolute ridiculous fight. Alright, let me get my notes here. So, Cora's feints in this fight were so crisp. He was able to beat Costa and knew any angle that he wanted and land extended combinations in there. Costa, he had success with looping power shots, but Cora, again, was finding the more strategic shots, and the counters are really on point. Costa, Coria then took Costa down early. We got a leg lock that's threatened by Costa to get back to the field, which was really smart. And Costa had a major turnaround, getting a body triangle in the second round. Correa was really running away with the start of that round, but with that body triangle, he was able to gain a little bit of position, did a little bit with it, and made the round competitive at the least. It keeps in Correa then gets back on top, lands big shots, and then something happened to Costa's foot. We then get back up to the feet. Costa or Correa. Then I think when he hits him with, was it the right straight or the left hook first? Either way, he caught him with one of those. Costa goes towards the cage. He starts ripping hooks. End of the fight. And I love this fight. I was really, really intrigued by both of these fighters. Again, I thought we saw a lot of good counters in this fight. I thought Costa did really well, and Koya found the right moment. Again, another guy I think making his debut right, and he's 27. Uh, yeah, but I mean, I like what I saw from seen from him. Flyweight division. It's definitely an interesting division. We got Pantoja versus Zhang coming up. But when you look at that rankings right now, I think we're going to see a lot of movement in the next year. Obviously, Pantoja fights Marab. Um, we will for sure have a new champion. But once again, really good performance. Oh, so I nearly forgot about this fight. I was really looking forward to this fight. This, in fact, was the most intriguing fight to me because one, I like Zach Reeves. You know, Zach Reeves, he is exactly what you need to be a UFC fighter. Like he is at the bar for UFC fighters. And Cedric Dumas, when he's not being arrested, when he's not, breaking into houses, assaulting people, he is good. He does have serious talent. I went over my notes. Where did it go? We got a kick at restart. Well early hurt Dumas. We then just so it. I think it was like what 3 4 minutes, right? We're stopped there, and Cedric Dumas is acting like he got shot with an arrow in the knee. Actually, I don't want to make any shooting jokes right now. Um, but shout out that reference. Whatever. I was really looking forward to this fight. Now, how can we continue after this night? My nose is itchy. Oh my god. How can we move on from tonight and go, you know what? Cedric Dumas, he's worth the trouble. I don't know. Maybe Dana White has a thing for criminals. Maybe we are becoming the NFL. But like, come on, dude. And what? Um, I had something. I have it saved here. There was the report that came out this week that he had, I think it was $13 and change in his account. Where did they go? I Fuck, I saw it somewhere. I thought I saved it. Um, but coming in this fight, he had no money. I wonder why. Maybe he can go look at his bonds. And when you look at what he's done, this is the issue, right? Knockout, knocked out by Mikhail Oleksiejczuk in his last fight. Oleksiejczuk, really good middleweight. Probably the best middleweight yet to be ranked. Beat Dennis to win. Got knocked out by Rusevov. Rusevov is really good. Beat Abel Beat Cody Rundage. Really good name. Got submitted. And before that, we got four knockouts only come up in that. What can you say after this? I don't have any evil on him. Oh, man, you out of everybody on the roster needed to show up tonight and deliver an incredible performance. And I can't really say anything. I'm not gonna act like I've been kicked in the nuts by a professional UFC fighter. But it was an awfully weird finish. Awfully weird finish. I will leave it at that. I'm interested to hear what other people around the space say. You know, Guru, um, Lucas Tracy. Uh, dude, I've gotten some insane fucking AI generated memes of Lucas Tracy lately. I should save them. But holy shit. I love Lucas, man. I disagree with him a lot. I don't like the Dagestani ways. Boy, actually though, my feet is fucking cooking. Um, Besides that though, it's again, I really was looking at this fight because I really am invested in these two, and I hope that Zachary Reese can make a short turnaround. Um, get back in the mix and hopefully get a win after that one. Mine. Oh, this is bugging me, dude. Jesus Aguilar versus Luis Gurriel. This. Oh, I loved this fight. So, Gurriel came out immediately, round one. Pure fucking force. Barely any bit of technique. Loved it though. And Both guys were winging hooks at each other. Aguilar looked much sharper on the feet, responded to every shot Gorilla threw, and Gorilla was able to be untouched for 20-second periods. And during the round, I literally had a timer, and I timed this. He had these 20-second intervals where Aguilar wouldn't hit him with anything, and his guard would be down. And he had the perfect opportunity to wing a couple power shots, throw an extra jab in there. Um, Aguilar did some Karate Kid shit at the start of round 3, I believe, and he definitely gained momentum, knocked Garol down. I again, what was it? My notes. Okay. He knocked Garol down. I think it was with. Was it alright? Um, but really good shot, and he nearly finishes the fight. Um, I'm getting ahead of myself. He knocks him down. Guru jumps into the gilly. And he ends up on top. I don't know. I did have it right. Aguilar gets down, gets Guru down, gets a better time on top. Guru reverses it with the guillotine. Gets up. But I thought Aguilar looked really good. Guru though, he didn't throw anything extra. And I really felt like he had these moments during this fight where Aguilar was just sitting there like this. And he could have hit him with literally anything. But he just stood there and froze. Whatever. We then move on to Tatiana Suarez versus Amanda Lemos. I really did not pay any fucking attention at all to this fight. I'm gonna keep it 100 with you. Tatiana Suarez won this fight. Unanimous decision, 29-28. Double leg fest, very dominant grappling approach. Lemos had some sort of choke near the round, near the end of round 1. Maybe it was in round 2, maybe round 3. Oh, but yeah. What am I supposed to say here? Um, she won. She outgrappled Lemos. She rebounds from a loss to Zhang Wei. But really not much to say. I guess impressive grappling performance. I guess. Um, but again, I want to see more. It's not that I have a problem with grappling. It's just I want to see you do more work when you have a dominant position. Um, but I don't know. She'll probably end up fighting for the belt once again. When we move on to Claudio Perez versus Joaquin Silva. Joaquin Silva Perez got top mount in round 1 relatively quickly, controlled the round, and to me, this fight was Perez would pull ahead briefly and then be like, "Hey Silva, here's me on a silver platter." Um, one of the biggest one was um these hanging guillotines that Silva would constantly get off, and it was really Silva's. It was Silva's cage. It felt to me. It felt like he was the one pushing the pace. Absolutely, he was the one landing the more threatening shots. He got the knockdown. He went for a submission. I just was, I don't know. Is that really a UFC performance? And that's an issue I really have with, the guys we're bringing in. Is I want to make sure they're at this level. If we're going to say this is the pinnacle of the sport, make sure these guys are at the pinnacle of the sport. Um, but yeah, we move on to Jose Medina versus Dusko Todorovic. This was a relatively simple fight. Todorovic, he looked like the bigger threat. It's simple as that. He got a very early takedown. Medina was like going to get up pretty quickly. When they were on the feet, it Todorovic, his shots were the only one you really looked at. That's the best thing I can say, right? There's times when you're watching a fight and like it doesn't need to be a knockout sequence, but you can tell when one fighter is doing damage and the other one's throwing paper hands, and that's what I felt. Um, good one to do good one to Dusko. I'm just gonna leave it at that. I think what is he? Wasn't he coming off of? Oh yeah, he's coming off of 3 losses. He keeps his job in the UFC, I guess. Why was this the headline of the prelims? It was a good finish, though. I gotta say, it was a good fight. I'm asking questions. I know Dana White doesn't like those, so I'm asking questions there. I just want somebody to answer these for me. Then we move on to Santiago Luna versus Huang Li. Now, I think I went Huang Li, but but he came out hitting hard. Oh, what did I do? He came out hitting hard. But like most of these Chinese prospects, I don't know if I'm gonna sneeze it up. No, alright. He came out hitting hard. He was really good at range. He rocked Luna, but Luna fires back with a left that dropped finally, jumps on him. finishes the fight. This was an incredible debut, 7-0 in a Mexican fighter on UFC NOCHE. You can't have a better um debut. I wanna make sure it is his debut. I'm 90% sure it is his debut. Yeah, but came from Tough Enough. Yeah, this is an electric win. This guy really does have potential. Um, yeah, we will see what he does next inside the UFC and how long he stays undefeated. We then move on to Alexander Hernandez versus Diego Ferreira. Now, I'm gonna have to do a video on Alexander Hernandez, man. It was a near even fight going into this. I went with Hernandez because we know the story of Hernandez. What am I even? What's clicking on the mic? Whatever. Um, he got head kicked. He got fraud checked by Cowboy. Well, lately he has been on a tear. Ferrer cut off the cage right away. Did a really good job advancing on Hernandez. Hernandez landed, but he couldn't get any bit of the cage for himself. Hernandez eye poked Ferrer early. Then he started moving well. He started finding his range and that. And he landed a right hook. Vicious knockout. And that's 4 in a row. He calls out Michael Chandler. And we know that Michael Chandler is destined, at least hopefully, for a fight with Conor at the White House. I like the Hernandez fight. I like it. I like this redemption arc that Hernandez is going on because he's 32, right? In the prime of his career. I mean, most notably, you would point out the Cowboy loss. Before the Cowboy loss, his only losses to Jamal Emmers. Emmers is really good. Had a couple knockouts and that, but this is a really good win streak. He knocked out Chase Cooper, who is a really good prospect. He knocks out Diego Ferreira, who is a well-established veteran inside the UFC. He's gonna get a push, man. You gotta give him a push. I'm not saying he's gonna get a ranked contender. Maybe he does hit Chandler, but we will see. Very impressive. Am I gonna sneeze or not? This is painful. Whatever. My immune system is attacking me right now. This is not fun. So, yeah, I, ow, I like this redemption arc we have with Alexander Hernandez. We have a lot of them right now. We got Johnny Walker knocking out Zhang Ming Yang. We got Dominic Reyes going on his revenge tour. We got Alexander Hernandez, man. I like it. If only we had an MMA promoter inside the UFC that wanted to promote this storyline, or perhaps had billions and billions of dollars and could pay somebody who can make content, make some kind of, edits or videos about the storyline of Alexander Hernandez being mocked by everybody, now on a ridiculous win streak. I'm just putting it out there, man. Maybe you do that instead of promoting boxing, right? Whatever. We then move on to Calvin Gastelum versus Dustin Stoltzfus. And, man, I feel like every single Calvin Gastelum fight is exactly the same. Number one, he misses weight. Nothing new. He's missed weight before. He'll probably miss weight again. It is what it is. And I respect it, to be honest. Round one was a really tricky round. Gastelum was landing the big shots he does. A lot of shots that would knock out most fighters. But again, he leaves himself open to the big shots. He leaves himself open to these, extended combinations. Calvin Gastelum, and I know that so many people say this. This guy could have been a fucking champion. He truly could have. Discipline is his biggest issue. But you do have these guys in the UFC that will make it here. They'll become a name. They'll make it to the top, and they're satisfied with just being one of the names, making the money, and retiring when I don't know. Calvin Gastelum is such a weird fucking fighter. It really does make no fucking sense whatsoever. But a good win nonetheless. Isn't that he lost to Piper, right? He's a win one, lose one, lost to Piper, lost to Brady. Those aren't bad losses to have. But he's in these fights and I feel like he can win every one of these fights. And when he does win, I'm like, oh, you barely. But I don't know. Calvin Gastelum moves on. We then go into Rafa Garcia versus Jared Gordon. Um, this was guaranteed to be a banger fight. I didn't. Cool. None of my notes are there. Whatever. Jared Gordon, he had that close fight with um Paddy Pimblett. And he really did good the first round. He has good boxing combinations. He can find the range. He can find the right counters, and he can make elite fighters question their approach. And Alpha Garcia, man, I didn't give him much credit going into this fight. But this was a phenomenal performance. I really do think that. Um, you look at the people he's beating, Old Quick Guida, Mahashate, that's a big one. Yeah, lost to Hackbrass. It was a big win for him. It really was. Jared Gordon, I'm not too concerned Again, I think Jared Gordon is really good. It's just a question of can he break out from being one of the top fighters to being a top fighter, right? But we will see a very, very impressive win for Mexico's own Rafa Garcia. We then move in to our co-main event, which was made on short notice, if I'm not mistaken. Dave Martinez coming in and he won this fight. He won this fight. There's no doubt about this. Rob Font, even at his age, is a difficult fight for anybody in the bantamweight division. He conserved his energy, cracked Martinez with a right midway into the first, put consistent pressure on, and I thought he won the first round. It was a very, very back and forth round one, though. Font looked more composed, but he had a low output, and that's ultimately what made him lose this fight, in my opinion. Martinez dropped Font seconds, um, with seconds left in the third. Nearly finished him, which secured him the win. I was impressed, but Rob Font, I felt like again, it's a matter of going. It's a matter of throwing something out there to make David Martinez question. And again, I am just somebody who's a fan. I am watching this from my chair, from my bed. It's you really start to see the difference between a cross like an unranked fighter, a top 15 fighter, a top 10 fighter, and a top 5 fighter. Ralph Font at one point was a top 5 fighter. But again, it's a lot of his losses I look at is, you know, him putting in himself into a terrible situation than it is him being beat. But that's just me. A good win for David Martinez, who stepped up and actually delivered. We then, man, so this is going to be quite the video tomorrow, right? Diego Lopes knocks out Jean Silva viciously, I might add. Jean, at the start of this fight, found range with force, missed a front kick, but he was throwing these front kicks that, you know, they would have impact. Diego chewed the calves as John Silva was throwing stuff up the middle. Diego then gets Silva down, postures up on John Silva, and just starts absolutely battering John Silva. When I'm shocked they didn't stop him the first round, if I'm truly being honest. He was raining down force, and Jean Silva, to his credit, was fighting back this entire time. And it's one of the most badass moments. Silva then rolls out somehow. It looks very, very cool. I think Silva is definitely shown he has a very, very, well, I shouldn't say that after he got one. He definitely has a very interesting BJJ set that I want to see more of. But Jean Silva kept throwing these spinning elbows. And he kept mixing them. He was having a lot of success with the right, but he kept throwing the spinning elbow. John Silva gets cocky. Diego Lopes sends one right back to him. And this fucking elbow, oh my god. It was a brutal knockout. And now you're talking about the fighters going, 0-3 and having this, you know, down to, well, 0-4, right? Because Carlos, well, oh my. Diego Lopes made it clear that he is not leaving the top of that division anytime soon. He knocked down Volkanovski in his fight with, in his previous fight. He is fucking lethal, man. Beating Brian Ortega the way he did. The fight with Dan Ige back at, yeah, Pereira versus Oscar too. Dude, I'm going to do a separate video on Diego Lopes tomorrow, the main event itself. But this was a statement. Diego Lopes is not going anywhere. But yeah, man, it's insane night of fights. I don't know. I think UFC NOCHE, the fights themselves delivered. If only they had the fucking promoter promoting the fights. I get it. Want to go to boxing. Put someone else in charge. Make someone else do the press conferences if you really don't want to do them. By no means is this me saying Dana White does not love this business. And I get it, Canelo versus Crawford is once in a lifetime. But we're supposed to be building MMA into the biggest sport in the world. What the fuck are we doing promoting competition when we're not promoting our own shit at all? But that's what I got. Um Again, I it's infuriating, man. It really is. Um Going into this card, I really didn't have much hype going going in. I think the card did deliver. Maybe this is me just being down on everything right now. Well, fucking man. Can we promote the fucking fights? Or at least find somebody who wants to. But those are my thoughts on UFC NOCHE. Again, we will go more into the main event, and I'll talk about some of the other fights as the week goes on. Let me know what you thought of UFC NOCHE. And I know we got Terence Crawford versus Canelo Alvarez. I might make a video on it, might not, but also too, streaming. I want to try and get back into streaming, especially in the winter. In the winter, we're going ham with the streams. Um, but yeah, it's just fucking everything going on right now. It's been a really fucking shitty week. And it only gets harder, right? But best thing I can say is, you know, faith, go read the Bible. Not telling you to become Christian, not telling you to become Catholic or Protestant or, you know, whatever denomination you want to say. I think that faith, at least to me, is something that helps me find my success, helps me find my motivation, and helps me find my fears. Like, again, I spent most of the card cleaning up my room. I actually, like, I got a much better setup now. Much easier to maintain. Um, but yeah, it'll get better as time goes on like this. We got bigger fights coming up. We got an MSG. We got, Pereira versus, Mohamed and Kawhi. Oh, he my brother stuff attacking me. But, definitely won't be shorter content. Let me know what you thought about the fight. So, um, and I was able to, you know, make you enjoy wasting 48 minutes of your time. I'm honored to do so. That's what I got later.